Hey everybody, David Gordon from TheaterMania here. It is Wednesday, August 26th. I'm here with Rob Ulin, playwright of Judgment Day, which has been streaming all weekend and through this evening via Barrington Stage Company. It's a great play. It's got a great cast led by Jason Alexander, Patty LaCone, and so many others. And I'm excited to talk about it with you, Rob.
How are you?
Tell me, I'm good. How are you?
Good. All good.
Tell me about, well, so I read this is your first play. Is that true?
It's the first one that anybody's ever done.
Right.
Yeah, I've attempted a few times, but yeah.
And your background as a TV writer, you worked on Roseanne, Dinosaurs, which we were just talking about, currently Rami. Did you always want to write a play, or did you feel like the TV thing was enough of a play-like atmosphere? You know what I mean?
I always wanted to write a play, and I wish I'd done it earlier. Yeah, it's a really good learning experience. It's fairly different from writing a TV show or a movie. You don't have the tricks. You can't zoom in on somebody. The audience can look wherever it wants. I mean, that is not completely true of this online play, because this is sort of a hybrid.
Right.
But in general, when you're thinking in terms of a play, you are thinking differently.
How did you come to Barrington, or how did Barrington come to you for this?
Well, the play a year ago got a staged reading at the Berkshire Playwrights Festival, Berkshire Playwrights Lab, which was run by Matthew Penn, and he directed the staged reading a year ago, and he was very supportive of the play, and it went quite well. So he was looking for a place that could maybe do a full production, and he knows everybody out in the Berkshires, so he brought it to the Barrington folks.
Was it supposed to be this season, or did this happen as like a thing because of the pandemic shutting everything down?
Well, they were considering it for this season. I don't know what would have happened if we hadn't had this pandemic. I'm pretty sure we wouldn't have had the amazing cast we had.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, like, Jason Alexander had read the play in November and was very supportive and encouraging. But he said, I'm booked for 2 years. So I mean, that was that sort of when he, and then the quarantine happened, and I still had his email, so I wrote back to him and I said, hey, maybe, I bet your schedule's not so booked at the moment. And he was very amenable, and he signed on to do it, which was, a tremendous break.
And Patty would be booked now too, so I'm imagining that you did get all of these people because of the quarantine.
Yes. No question. I mean, one very small silver lining in a horrible situation. Yeah.
How did you come up with the idea for the play?
Well, it started out, this won't make a lot of sense to people who haven't seen it, so everybody should see it.
You have till 7 o'clock Eastern tonight.
There you go. 7:30, I think, but don't dally.
7:30.
It was going to be just a story of a terrible guy who is afraid of going to hell, so he has to do some good things. And it was just a comedy premise, really. And then as I started writing it, I came upon this priest character who he encounters, and in dealing with the priest, I found that actually I had some stuff to say about this, about these questions, and it brought up a lot of stuff I used to think about all the time. And so, I mean, it started with just let's get as many laughs as possible, and wound up being something more than that, kind of in the exploratory writing process.
What was it like to put this play together over Zoom? That must be an experience in and of itself.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Everybody.
Because you wrote this thing to be a stage. I was going to say, because you wrote this thing to be like an actual live stage play.
Yes, and I mean, as pleased as I am with the end result, with this end result of the online performance, I still very much want it to be a stage play. I mean, there's no substitute for seeing people live
right
on stage performing. But when we got the chance to do it online, everybody was I'll just tell you the backstage. You can see some of this in the credits at the end, but everybody was connected through Zoom. It was like one giant Zoom call, but we didn't want to use just the Zoom footage because it's not
right
high enough quality. So everybody was simultaneously recording himself in HD using QuickTime. And when we finished the play, we gathered all that digital data and assembled the whole thing. So that's why it sounds and looks the way it does is because of those recordings.
Can you tell me about how the cast was assembled? Like, are these people that you and your director knew, or was it just people that you guys like blindly reached out to?
I got the play, as I said, I got the play to Jason Alexander in November, and I didn't know if I got it to his manager, and I didn't know if he would read it, if I would hear from him, and then he very kindly wrote to me and said it was very complimentary and encouraging, but he was booked. So it got to him that way. He had already seen it. And then everybody else sort of came through the Barrington Stage folks, got it out to people, and they read it, and we got a lot of yeses. It was just really, really surprising and exciting.
I was gonna say, how is the experience of writing for the stage different than writing for TV, which is the medium that you usually work in?
Well, a couple ways. I mean, first of all, you have many fewer tricks.
Yeah.
You can't zoom in on somebody. You can't cut to somebody. It's this. You've got 5 characters, and they all are lit up, and the audience can look wherever it wants. And whoever's on stage is kind of equally featured. So it's that is a really fundamental difference when you sit down to write a scene that way. You don't have the camera to help you. It also was different from a TV show. Well, at least this experience was different from a TV show because there was no, when you write a TV show, there's an infrastructure. There's like there's a line producer, and somebody's in charge of props, and somebody is talking to people about costumes. And we had none of that. So it was all very much, let's put on a show. And we were scrambling to take care of all these different jobs that ordinarily are sort of done for us. So it was fun.
Yeah.
And editing and everything else was just very much figured out as we go.
There's a helicopter going by. Bear with me for one second.
They're coming for you.
In terms of the TV angle of your life, what are you working on now, and is it going back into production?
Well, I was on Rami last season, the Hulu show Rami, which everyone should watch. It's really great.
It's great.
And what's that?
I was saying it's great. I was agreeing with you that it's great.
I like that. And it got picked up for a 3rd season. So at some point that will start up again. I also am working on a few pilot ideas and stuff like that. Yeah, that's sort of where I'm at these days. I mean, everything is so thrown into chaos.
Yeah. how do you break into a TV writer's room, which is something that I've always wondered myself.
You mean to get a job, not to break in? That would.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the answer is you write a spec script. One of the few things that is relatively fair about the TV business is that anybody can write a spec script, and if it gets read and if it's really enjoyed and appreciated, you can get your foot in the door. There's a lot that is not so fair about TV, but that is one way in which it's somewhat egalitarian. So yeah, I mean, and then over time you have some credits, and you know people, and you have something of a reputation for the stuff you've done in the past. But it's not an easy field to break into, but I'm very glad I did it. It's been pretty rewarding.
What I'll leave you with the question: what was the most what made you happiest about seeing Judgment Day come to life this way?
Just seeing it acted at that level. I mean, these are just world-class performers, and that's kind of what you have in your head when you're writing. Most of the time, you imagine the best case scenario, and then you don't always get that. You almost never get that. And then, I mean, Jason Alexander, Patti LuPone, you know, Santino Fontana, all these people were just fantastic. And I mean, they just brought everything up, and it was either what I imagined or it was something more interesting than what I imagined. So that was really the fun, was just seeing something that I'd hoped for kind of come to fruition.
Rob, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. The play is great. You can find it on Barrington Stage Company's website through tonight in the evening hour. So don't dally. You only have like 5 hours left to do it. And it's well worth it, because it's Patti LuPone in a nun's habit at the very, which you're never going to see again. Rob, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it. Take care. Be well. And thanks everybody for watching.
Thanks, David. Bye-bye.
Thank you.